Good evening, everyone. Welcome to MJ's Maths and Stats. That's MJ Magic Studio to you. And in this session, every night, 9 o'clock, I'm here on the channel along with you to solve previous years, previous terms, DCS, Ninja, and digital on-campus questions along with you. Since this examination is going to knock your door very soon, so be with us every night 9 o'clock 9 p.m. and solve few questions. Hope it will help you out during your examination. On this note, let's begin now. On a 26 question test, 5 points were deducted for each wrong answer and 8 points were added for each correct answer. If all the questions were answered, how many were correct if the score was 0? Let x questions were correct, then 26 minus x questions were incorrect. A score from the correct one should be equals to the score of the incorrect one because total score is 0. That means 8x is 26 into 5 is 130 minus 5x. So we have 13x is 130. So x is equals to 10. Number of correct answers were 10. That is in option A. Anand packs 304 marbles into packets of 9 or 11 so that no marble is left. Anand wants to maximize the number of bags with 9 marbles. Let it be x. How many bags does he need? How many bags does he need if there should be at least one bag with 11 marbles? That means we have this situation. 9x plus 11y is equals to 304 and y should be greater than equals to 1 and we need to maximize x. Let divide 304 by 9, then what will be the remainder we will get? 3 plus 0 plus 4 is 7. That means we'll get remainder 7. If all balls are divided into bags of 9 balls each, then remainder would be 7. What should be added to 7 which is multiple of 9 so that it becomes multiple of 11? That is the simple trick which we need to follow here. So if I add 81, it becomes 88 which is multiple of 11. As simple as that. 81 is the smallest multiple of 9 which when added with 7 will give 88 and this happens to be the multiple of 11 also. That means y is equals to 88 by 11, that is 8. We will have 8 bags where we will have 11 ball each. Now 304 minus 88 is how much? 2, 9, 14. This will give 6, 1, 216. Now 216 balls would be divided into 9 balls each. One bag contain 9 balls. Divided by 9 will give how much? 218 and 36 is 4. So maximum bags with 9 balls would be 24 and bags with white balls would be 8. That means in total he requires 32 bags. And where it is? Yes, option B fits in. Four people each roll a fair die once. Find the probability that at least 2 people will roll the same number. Let's first find probability that no one rolls the same number. That will be 6p4 by 6 to the power 4. Favorable outcome 6p4. Out of 6 choices, 4 choices we need to take up, all different. And total number of outcome would be 6 to the power 4. So 6p4 would be 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 by 6 into 6 into 6 into 6. 6 gone, 3, 2, this will give 2 and this will become 3. So 5 by 18. Now at least 2 people will roll the same number. At least 2 people will roll the same number means 1 minus probability of no one rolls the same number. That would be 1 minus 5 by 18. 18 minus 5 is 13. 13 by 18. And yes, that features in option B. Ema bought 18 sharpeners for rupees 100. She paid 1 rupee more for each white sharpener than for each brown sharpener. So if brown sharpener is worth X rupees per piece, then white one is X plus 1. And it is known that white plus brown sharpeners they have bought is 18. And hence X plus 1 into W, cost for the white sharpener, plus B or X into B is equals to 100. Now how many white sharpener did she buy? We need the value of X plus 1 or rather X. And what is the price of white sharpener? Let the price of white sharpener be X plus 1 and the number of white sharpeners is W. So B is 18 minus W. X W plus B is 18 minus W plus 18X minus WX equals 100. This will be out. That means 18X plus W is equals to 100. And we know that the value of W cannot be greater than 18, obviously. So 18X or 100 minus 18X is equals to W. Now we can use options. Since all the 4 options are closed, we can use it and find the value. So if price is 5, that means let's suppose X value is 5. Yes, bingo, we can get it. If X is 5, W will be equals to 100 minus 90, that is 10. Now what are the question asked? What is the price of the white sharpener? Price of the white sharpener is X plus 1. That would be 5 plus 1 rupees 6. And the second part is how many white sharpener did she buy? That is the W we are looking out for, that is 10. So answer should be 6, 10. Yes, that features in option B. We can be a bit smart. Once we have an equation, we can fit in the options what we have and check out for the answer. The sum of the digits of a 3-digit number is 17. Let the number is x, y, z, then x plus y plus z is 17. And the sum of the square of a digit is 109. X is square plus y is square plus z is square is equals to 109. If we subtract 495 from the number, we shall get a number consisting of the same digits written in the reverse order. That means x, y, z minus z, y, x is equals to 495. If I use this, 100x plus 10y plus z minus 100z minus 10y minus x is 495. That means 99 common x minus z is 495. That means x minus z is 495 by 99, that is 5. These are the information available with us. Fine. X minus z is there. Now instead of solving, we can go straight away to the options and check. X minus z should be 5. That means x is greater than z. The first digit is greater than the last digit. 7 minus 3, 773. 7 minus 3 is not 5. 6 minus 3 is not 5. 944, 9 minus 4 is 5. 863, 8 minus 3 is 5. Done. X plus y plus z is 17. 4 plus 4, 8 plus 9 is 17. 8 plus 6, 14 plus 3 is 17. Done. X square plus y square plus z square is 109. Here we will get 81. 16 and 16 is 32, which is 113 and not 109. We are only left with 863. 64 plus 36 is 100 plus 9 is 109. Here also at the end we can use option. 863 is the answer. Two identical circles intersect so that their centers and the point at which they intersect form a square of side 1 centimeter. That means they are intersecting at 2 points. One circle, I'll try to make an identical one. Both are identical. This is A, B, C, D, and if we join these in succession, we get a square. Okay, of side 1 centimeter. That means radius of the circle is also 1 centimeter. The area of the portion that is common to the circle, we are looking out for this area. Now if we look at the first circle only, let us first find this area of this sector, this portion. Sector area is given by pi r square into theta by 360 degree, and we know that since it is a square, this angle is 90 degree. So this sector area would be pi r is 1 square into 90 by 360. That will be pi by 4. Now if I want this particular area, can this be equals to area of the square minus sector area from the circle, isn't it? So that should be equals to area of the square is 1 square 1 minus pi by 4. Now this common area, can I say common area is area of the square minus twice the area of this shaded portion, because both sides shaded portion is same. Clear? That would be 1 minus pi by 4. And area of the square is 1. So 1 minus 2 plus minus minus is plus pi by 2. That would be pi by 2 minus 1. That is the area of the common part in centimeter square. We have that pi by 2 minus 1 in option A. Yes, true that once we have this area also, from here also we can straight away find the common area. From here we can get that common area would be, common area is double the sectorial area. This area 1 and this area 2, both are same, minus the square. So 2 into pi by 4 minus the square area. That will also straight away give us pi by 2 minus 1. That is the area of the common part. What is the maximum value of this expression when x plus y is equals to 8? We can use calculus and do the tedious calculation, do it. But from calculus itself, it's been proved that if sum of numbers is given, then product or the expression in the product format is maximum when the difference between these is least as possible. That is when these two values are same. So if x plus y is equals to 8, the expression would be maximum when x is equals to y equals 8 by 2, that is 4. So maximum value of the expression would be 4 cube into 4 cube plus 3 into 4 into 4. That is 16 cube. 16 cube is 4096 plus 16 into 3 is 48. That will give 4144. What is the drill? Simple drill. If sum of number is given, then product of number is maximum when these numbers are equal. So the maximum value which we can get is 4144. That is in option C. What is the sum of all even integers between 99 and 301? So first even integer here would be 100. Next one would be 102. Then 104 till 300. We can see that it has formed an AP series where the first term is 100, common difference is 2, and last term is 300. So how many terms are there? N is L minus A by D plus 1. We can use the direct formula for that. Last term minus first term divided by common difference plus 1. 200 by 2, 101 terms are there. Then what is the total? Formula for Sn is n by 2 into A plus L. 101 by 2 into A is 100 and L last term is 300. So 300 plus 100, 400 by 2 is 200. So the total we are looking out for is 101 into 200, that is 20200. That is sum of all the even integers which lies between 99 and 301. That features in option D. If Px or an fx or a polynomial is ax to the power 4 plus bx cube plus cx square plus dx plus e, we can see that it is biquadratic polynomial or polynomial of degree 4. And obviously it should have 4 roots, and the roots are 1, 2, 3, 4. And P0 or F0 value is 48. That means the constant part would be 48. What is the value of P5? Now we know that it is a biquadratic. Then in case of biquadratic, sum of roots is given by minus b by a. So that would be equals to 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, that is 10. Product of roots is given by minus plus minus plus e by a. That will be equals to 4 into 3, 12 into 2, 24. And now it is known that P0 is 48. So if we put x equals to 0, we'll get value of e is 48. That means from here 48 by 24 is equals to a. So we have the value of a is equals to 2. Here if I put a equals to 2, b would be equals to minus 20. Now again, sum of roots taken 2 at a time. That means product of roots taken, product of roots, and then sum it up. That will be given by plus c by a. So c by a is 1 into 2, that is 2, plus 1 into 3, plus 1 into 4, plus 2 into 3, plus 2 into 4, plus 3 into 4. 26, 30, and that is 35. And a we know is 2, that means c is equals to 2 into 35, that is 70. Now when I put x equals to 1 in this function, and since 1 is the root, p1 should be equals to 0. So if when I put x equals to 1, what I get is a plus b plus c plus d plus e is equals to 0. 2 minus 20 plus 70 plus D plus 48 is equals to 0. 2 minus 20 minus 18, here gone 13, therefore D is equals to minus 100. So I have value of A, B, C, D and E. So P5 would be 2 into 5 to the power 4, B is minus 20 into 5 cube, C is 70 plus 70 into 5 is square, D is minus 100 into 5 plus 48. If I take 5 cube common, it would be 125. 5 into 2 is 10 minus 20 plus 5 common. Then 70 into 5, 350 minus 100 plus 48 minus 1250 plus 250 into 5 is 1250 plus 48. This will cancel out. Ultimately, P5 would be equals to 48. And that is there in option A. In case of a biquadratic equation, sum of roots is minus b by a, product of roots is e by a, sum of roots taken 2 at a time is c by a, and sum of roots of product taken 3 at a time is minus d by a. That is what we have used. How many 5-digit numbers can be formed using the digits 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 digits we have, such that the number is divisible by 4 and digits are non-repetitive? Now we know the drill that if it is a 5-digit number and a number is divisible by 4, the last 2 digits should be divisible by 4. So first let us make combination with these digits, that what all we can get which are divisible by 4. With 0 we can have 04 divisible by 4. Then 1 we can have 12. With 2 we can have 20 and 24. With 3 we have 32, 32. With 4, 40 and nothing else, no repeat can be repetitive. With 5 we will have 52. So clearly I have grouped them into 2 groups. One where we have 0 included and another group where 0 is not included. So case 1, first 3 are blank. In the last 2 position I am putting this block A. So out of these I can take any one in 3p1 ways. Now since 0 is already occupied in the last 2 places, 0 is already occupied and one of these digits is occupied, we are left with 4 digits and we need to choose 3 out of it. So how many numbers we can have which ends with 04, 20 or 40 is 4p3 into 3p1. 4p3 is factorial 424, 3p1 is 3, that is 72 numbers we can have. Case 2 where the last 2 digits are from this group B. So in group B we have got 4 options. So any one of the 4 options I'll select here. But we see that here 0 is not occurring. That means 0 may occur in these 3 positions. So we have 4 digits left where 0 is also included. So 3-digit number with 4 digits where 0 is also included can be formed in 4p3 minus 3p2 ways. All possible 3-digit numbers minus all numbers will start with 0. 4p3 is 24, 3p2 is factorial 3, that is 6, into 4p1 is 4. So it is 18 into 4, that is 72 again. So case 1 72 cases, case 2 72 cases. Total number of cases would be 72 plus 72, that is 144. So how many 5-digit number can be formed which are divisible by 4 from the digit 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 144. That features in option C. if A, B, C are forming increasing terms of GP, that means A is less than B is less than C and A, B, C are in GP, that also means that B square is equals to A into C and R is the common ratio. Then find the minimum value of C minus B given that log A plus log B plus log C, which can be written as log ABC by log 6 is equals to 6, or we can say log ABC base 6 is equals to 6, or ABC is equals to 6 to the power 6. Now we know that AC is equals to B square. So in place of AC, if I write B square, we'll get B cube equals to 6 to the power 6 or 6 is square whole cube. Therefore the middle number, that is B, is equals to 6 square, that is 36. The three number which we have should be 36 by R, 36 and 36R, where R is the common ratio. Now we know that it is an increasing GP series. That means this value should be less than this and this value should be less than this. In this case, value of R cannot be in fraction. R should be greater than 1. That is fine. R should be greater than 1. Now, question is, what is the difference between C minus B? So C minus B can be written as 36R minus 36. That is 36 into R minus 1. Simple. So we know that R cannot be equals to 1. If we take any value between like 1 to 2, maybe like 1.5, that means 1.5. It has been divided by 1.5, it has been multiplied by 1.5. Then it would be 0.5 minus 1. Fine. If we take R equals to 1.5, then it will be an increasing series. That is fair enough. So if I take R equals to 1.5, because it's given that R can be any real number, then it would be 36 into 0.5, that is 18. 18 is still there. So we are looking out for minimum value of C minus B. Now, let's see, can it be ever 12? 36 into R minus 1 is equals to 12. That means R minus 1 is 12 by 36. That is 1 by 3. So R equals to 1 plus 1 by 3, that is 4 by 3. So 36 into 3 by 4 is 27. 36 and 36 into 4 by 3 is 48. This can be the GP series, and this is an increasing GP series which fits in where the difference between C and B is 12. The minimum value they have asked, that's why we have done this in fraction. Answer 12 fits in. Okay, so we have a Sudoku grid containing digits in such a manner that every row, every column and every 3 into 3 box accommodates digits 1 to n without repetition. We know the normal rule of Sudoku that we follow. In the following Sudoku grid, find the values at the cell denoted by X and Y and determine the value of this. Now, I can see the first value as Y here. So if I make replicate here and then we'll try to see. This is Y175. If we look at this particular column throughout, we will see that 3 is appearing here. That means in this particular column 3 can't appear. Again, if I look at this particular column, I can see 3 coming here. That means in this column also 3 cannot appear. So 3 is not appearing in these places. Now if I look at this particular row, 3 is already there. 3 is already there in the second one. That means in this particular row also 3 cannot come. That means in place of this Y, we should have 3. Y value is 3. This is how we work with Sudoku. Now we are moving to the second block, where we have our x, not x, this symbol x. Okay. The row with 3, I can see we have 6, 8, 9. Okay. So this column upward, I can see 5 here. That means in this particular column, there is no 5. You cannot have 5 here. So that means 5 should be here. Again, if I observe that, if I put 5 in any of these, this particular here below, we have 9 and 5. That means in this particular column also, we can't have 5. That means we are only left with 5 to be placed in place of x. So x value would be 5. So 6x plus 15y is 6 into 5, 30, plus 3 into 15, that is 45, and its value should be 75. And yes, that we have in option C. The famous ant and the food sum. An ant start moving on the mesh zone. That means ant can only move on these lines along the wires towards a food particle, which is F, placed at this particular corner, and A is here at this particular. Okay. If the ant is at the bottom left corner of cell A and food is at the top right corner of cell F, then find the number of optimal routes for the ant. First, if we look at the first part, ant need to reach at this particular point. Let it be B. To reach this particular point, how we solve this? It's as simple as that. If we have, suppose, R number of rows and C number of columns, then number of ways in moving from this particular point to this particular point diagonally is given by factorial R plus C divided by factorial R factorial C. It is same like these all are alike movement and these all are alike movement. So if I see in the first grid where A is written, number of columns are 3 and number of rows are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That means C is number of rows are 13. So to reach at this point B, optimal routes available for ant are factorial 16 divided by factorial 3 factorial 30. Now once this ant reaches this point B, now it need to travel along the diagonal, not along the diagonal, but from at the diagonal point, and we will again use the same format. Here number of columns are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and rows are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So that becomes 17 into factorial 17 by factorial 5 factorial 12. Now we need to just solve this. 16 into 15 into 14 by factorial 3 is 6 into 17, 16, 15, 14, 13 and 5 is 120. I've used calculator and the calculator value comes to 3465,280. 34,65,280. Just what we need to remember is this particular concept. Whenever we are moving diagonally on these kind of mesh, the total number of optimal routes are given by factorial R plus C divided by factorial R into factorial C, because these are alike movement and this going up are also alike movement. So if we have R1, R1, R1 and C1, 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 in how many ways we can arrange these 7 objects? If these 3 are look alike and these 4 are look alike, we know the drill. It is factorial 7 by factorial 4 factorial 3. Same concept is being used in these kind of sum. Option B fits in. two identical cubes का मतलब हो गया 6 faces. If one of them is painted pink on 4 sides, first cube में we have pink on 4 sides and blue on the remaining 2 sides, blue on 2. Then how many faces painted pink to other cube? Second cube जो है उसमें कितने we need to paint how many faces pink. Let we paint x faces of second cube pink, and then 6 minus x faces are painted blue, so that probability of getting the same color is 1/3 when we roll both the cubes. Now what do we mean by probability of getting the same color? Probability of getting same color means either we are getting pink from 1 and pink from 2, or probability of getting blue from the first cube and blue on the second cube. Now this probability will be equals to what? Probability of pink 1 into probability of pink 2, or probability of blue 1 into probability of P2. Now what is the probability that when you roll first dice you will get a pink color? That is 4/6, clear, because 4 outcome out of 6 are there, which is pink. From the second it would be x/6, again the total is 6, plus blue from the first cube would be 2/6, and blue from the second cube would be 6 minus x/6. Now this total probability should be equals to 1/3. That means 4x/36 plus 12 minus 2x/36 equals 1/3, or 4x minus 2x is 2x plus 12/36 is 1/3. That will give what? 12 again, 3 going. That means 2x plus 12 is equals to 12. Cancel out. 2x is equals to 0. X is 0. No face on the second cube should be painted pink. Then the probability of getting the same color would be 1/3. Option D fits in. Thank you, Roshni Banik. Yes, answer is 0. Yes, everyone. In a right angle triangle, two sides are consecutive whole numbers in which one side is hypotenuse. So let these two are consecutive whole number, and obviously hypotenuse should be greater than any of these two sides. So let this be x, then this is x plus 1. What could be the possible length of third side? If we use Pythagorean triplet format, these three are Pythagorean triplets and these two are consecutive, only possible when this particular number or this particular side is an odd number. With an odd number only, the remaining two are consecutive whole numbers. And how to generate this is very simple. Take up any odd number, square it, divide that by 2, and then plus minus half will give you the next two numbers. Let's try with a simple number first. Let's take maybe like 3. 3 square is 9. 9 by 2 is 4.5. Plus 0.5 is 5. And minus 0.5 is 4. You can see when we start with an odd number, the two members of that triplets are consecutive, and we know 3, 4, 5 are Pythagorean triplet. Now the question is, what could be the possible length? So out of the option given, only one of the option is odd. 361 can always be the possible length. And what would be these two value? For that we need 361 is square. We need to divide that by 2. The value which I have already is 65160.5 plus 0.5 will give 65161, and minus 0.5 will give 65160, Hence with 361 we have 65160 and 65161, which are two consecutive whole numbers, and these three are Pythagorean triplet. 361 is the answer.